set? Are we ready?
Learning a lot from Rick today.
What? Oh, what not to do? Do we have something good slide or a film? Yeah. Yep. We do. I was like, I don't have the thing. I don't have the clicker.
I want to fill a bucket.
Oh, Derek, hi.
Hey, I want to fill Emily's bucket. She sold another house and is doing really well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome. All right. What else? Something good. Bucket fill.
All right, I have a bucket fill for Kevin. If he's not online yet, maybe. He has been helping, well, he helped us with scripting and some expired canceled stuff and made things a little more fun. And also to Brahma, walking me through listing presentation and how to close that. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Who else? What else is good?
I'm thankful for Ron the sewer rat because I have that wonderful modern invention called a flushing toilet now. It's super great. Yeah, so they came out yesterday and.
I rarely feel intensity like that off of Wendy. Like finally flushes.
She does a great job. All right.
Awesome. What else?
I'll bucket fill Jordan on her team for being on the open house.
Great.
Walking the talk right now on the dialer, circle prospecting around the open. He's hosting this weekend.
Who was at that or on Zoom or heard anything about that? Because we actually talked about some numbers on that point. I'll just kind of, he was probably the only one that knew his numbers, and he's the newest one. He's done 16 open houses in 6 months. And I mean, that's even, he didn't even get started right away on that. Closed 2, has 6 already signed pieces of business and 6 other pieces of business in the pipeline. So 14 pieces of business from 16 open houses in 6 months.
Wow.
Those are real numbers. So as we're talking about, I don't know where to get business or it's overwhelming, remind you, he also transplanted here from Colorado, so doesn't know anyone really. So that's his way that he's finding that business, and it's all in the follow-up. So later in this meeting, we're going to talk about different places to get business and open houses. I mean, that's real live evidence that that's where to get it. So maybe ask him for coffee or listen to him script or go in an open house and see what he does, or ask for his follow-up plan. So yeah, he did great. He did really, really great on that panel. What else? What else is good?
I'm gonna fill Heather's bucket for keeping our Wisconsin license active.
Anyone that wants to get their license in Wisconsin, you can do it here anytime. You can hold it here and bucket fill you for being our broker at the Wisconsin, for our Wisconsin license.
For record.
Yeah.
You say broken record.
What else is good? Rick.
I want to thank Candy because it doesn't matter how grumpy I am, that woman smiles all the time, constantly. So I don't know what's so good in her world, but it's not dumping out.
That's true.
Chris.
Last week I posted just like I knew someone from my friend group was gonna like know who lived at the house, but it was an open house that was hosted by I think her name is Karen Murray. She's out of the Edina office, and it was like a private broker like open house. And she's like, yeah, you can take photos, blah blah blah, and videos and stuff like that. Just don't post the address because it's not live yet anyway. So I posted the outside, and you know, there's a huge ice rink, and I'm like, someone from my high school is gonna know who lives, like whose house this is, because it's really obvious. Anyways, a kid from my high school who played hockey with the kid's parents, he's like, hey, like, this is a sweet house. I know who lives here, but I want to buy a house with you. And so we're gonna meet today.
Awesome. Nice job. Anybody else have anything good going on? Bucket fill.
We added Natalie to our team. So Natalie Grant joined us and she already has 3 buyers signed and just reported her database is up to 203.
Wow.
Nice. Just another one on their team doing the thing. Just saying. All right, what else? One more fun thing.
I'm getting a puppy. Max rescue.
Oh, he'll be the new office dog.
Oh my God.
Are those allowed?
Okay, we're doing so much better in 2023 with bucket fills and fun things. I'm really proud of you guys, like really proud. Family reunion. Anybody signed up to go to family reunion? Trey, you are. Heather, anybody else thinking about it at all? Silent. Okay. So I'm really excited about it because this is the second year now that it's going to be in person again after COVID. So obviously there were some kinks to work out, I think, last year just with being the first time back. But there's going to be some really great information. It's February 18th to the 21st. If you're still looking to go and need rooms or anything, find Heather. Probably not me because I can't even find my confirmation. So probably find Heather. And we can get you guys signed up for that. Next. So we have a lot of things going on. So we have our annual awards. It's going to be during our meeting time next week. So we'll have some food. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. So show up for that. And anyone that is getting award or even, not potentially think that they're getting award, be here to support everybody because it's a really fun time to talk about what was accomplished in the last year, as well as an opportunity to connect.
And we have that drop, remember, we have that picture taking
Yep,
station. So yeah, there's some fun stuff here. Great food. It'll be a good time.
We've got the 3 sources of lead gen that's going to be facilitated by Katie tomorrow in Edina. Again, that's at 11 o'clock. We've got giving your buyers an edge in 2023. I will be facilitating that at Seago. And that's going to be a unique one because it talks about, it's all of our lenders, different lenders that are giving an idea for multiple offers, as well as the objections that we'll be going over today about interest rates on maybe some different products that they have or things that you can speak on in a smaller level and then refer them to them. So that'll be a fun one because it's not agent based. It's actually lender based. Then we have the Twin Cities market update with David Arbit. That always has great information. That's going to be at KW Lakes or via Zoom on February 9th at 11 o'clock. And then we have the mega agent interview with Jill, which is going to be on Valentine's Day at 11 in Edina.
Are all of these offered via Zoom and in person?
They are all in person and via Zoom.
I'll send out the links again after this meeting, the Eventbrite. So you can sign up.
Awesome. And I would encourage you guys to start going to some of the other offices if you're able to fit that into your schedule, just for the opportunity to network with those agents. And it's a very different level of information you're getting when you're there because you can talk to the panelists, you can kind of connect in different ways as well. And it also brings a different energy to the training. All right, next.
Our office does have listings up, not Seago, right, Christina?
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna tour those that same day.
Yep. Okay, so now we've got Ignite. Ignite is coming back. This is a lot on this slide. I'm like, whoa. But there's a ton of CE. So whether or not you're taking Ignite is free. So whether or not you're going to take the whole Ignite, this is an opportunity. And let me just say, we are in February. Yes, we don't need them until June. However, last year, there were some big scares of how do I get my license to not fall off because of CE? So having this available for free, I would look at this schedule and put them into your calendar and go to them so that you're not calling me or Heather or Candy or Lydia saying, how many CE do you have? And I'm like 15 and it's due tomorrow.
So if I did Ignite over a year ago and I have like 2 of these already as my CE credit, can I go and retake them?
I would look into your, like the Pulse portal, and we can show you how to do that, just to see what's already registered for this year, or what's counted.
Since I'm in now, like in my second year, it's like the 30, cause like the first year.
Yep.
So I was just curious if like I'm allowed like the same exact.
You'd have to see in the portal to see if that was actually counted for this year or not. So I don't know the answer to that, just on timing. So it'd have to be something we look into for you.
Usually you can't have 2 with the same name.
Okay.
I've made that.
I also made that mistake.
Yeah.
So to
See?
clarify, you have
It's fun. Get started on it early. This is also the great, so it'll be on Mondays. It's gonna be at KW Medina. Last time it was at our market center. It's gonna be at their market center this time. It's 8:30 to 4 on Mondays, February 27th through April 10th. The kind of the mechanics one, which is contracts, valuations, compliance and command, which I highly recommend people going to. There's been some changes as well. I know people were asking about like the written statement portion of it. This is a really great class to go to. And it's gonna be February 13th, 8:30 to 4, again at KW Dyna.
I just want to put out there, if you do sign up for the full Ignite, which is open for any agents that are having fewer than 14 transactions a year, and they want to like sharpen their skills, up their game, maybe get some new ideas too. That first class, if you sign up, it's kind of confusing. The first class is at the District of Edina, still on Monday, and then all the other Mondays are at the KW Edina office. So if you do sign up for that, the first one's at the District of Edina.
Perfect. Any questions on Ignite?
So do you have to be signed up for Ignite to go to those things? Or is it like?
No, you don't have to be signed up for the whole thing. No, you can attend those ones. I'm questioning if they want just a head count some way though for that. So there might.
To sign up through Eventbrite. Like
For each
can-
one.
yeah,
For each- That's why there's a different QR code for each
Yeah.
CE. You have to sign up for those separately.
And that will,
Like whichever one you go to, you don't have to sign up for Ignite.
that will be sent out as an attachment to your email today.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're at the office, they are posted around here too, so you can just scan the class.
Okay, cool. Any other questions about Ignite?
No, but last time the format was incredible. It's great.
And I think it's actually upped its game a little bit, especially with the CEs and kind of the instructors and the classes that are happening for new and seasoned agents. All right.
The next one's once a need.
It's all
You
you.
want to leave this up or
Where did the fishing event?
It's the first one.
Oh.
it was canceled?
So I didn't go over that. So the fishing event is canceled. A lot of people asked why. It's a safety issue. It came down to making the call early in the week versus later in the week. There have been vehicles that have went through the ice in the past week, as well as restrictions on vehicles and how ice houses can be out there. So trust me, I did not want to cancel it. However, safety is first, and I don't want little kids or any of our agents to get hurt in the process of having fun. So that won't be happening this weekend. It will be happening again next year, but it just won't be happening currently. Do you guys have questions about that?
Well, I just wanted to clarify too, just so people understand one of the cars that went through happened to go through on Grays Bay where we would be fishing. So we did ask Bateson to drive out there and check it out, but he said, no.
Oh, and to be fair, we asked again, and there were like 2 ice houses, which is like.
Kevin drove out there and he said it's not safe.
With his car?
Yep.
That car can do anything. That car. Those are fat tires.
Oh,
Yeah, turned around pretty quick.
Anyway, that's not, I mean, I feel like I'm just like, it's not safe. I'm not driving out there. Yeah, I love you all.
Nice lady.
Snow cover.
Drama. You know, I was outside.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So, any other questions around the cancellation at all? Thanks for your understanding. Obviously, we didn't want to have to do that, but it is what it is, and we'll get another event on the calendar soon. Okay, so who all went to, the event on Thursday, the regional event? Anyone in here go to that? Okay, I want to go over, and I didn't kind of prep you guys on this. Did you guys have any like ahas from that event? I'm going to kind of go through some of the objections that they talked about, so we can start scripting around that today too. But what were a few things that you guys took from that event?
Oh, it was great. It was packed with content and it was all good actionable things. For example, different mortgage strategies that you can use with your client to help them, mitigate the interest rate issue,
Yep.
And
So what she's talking about is they actually gave out, and I'm going to be sharing some of these kind of piece by piece, is they gave out a whole packet of mortgage hacks. So it's things to talk about with buyers. Just in regards to, obviously, the hot topic on the media is interest rates are up. Now people can't afford houses again. People aren't buying. I mean, it's all a very negative message that's getting put out by the media, right? As I'm watching agents that are doing business, they are doing their best to try to mitigate that negative communication, right? And it's giving opportunities for us to do the same. Of what are some other opportunities they can do? They can do, buy downs. What does that look like? People don't really know that they can do that. So there's how many different pages
Oh my
of
gosh.
notes on
there
that?
were many pages, and also that KW is working to provide a playbook for us for excuse me, any of the major lead gen strategies that they are mapping. What's the model look like and how do you implement that easily and where can you employ leverage? And one of the things that Matt Green said was we do not succeed at the level of our goals. We fall to the level of we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems, which I thought is just a good reminder that my word for the year is consistency. And so having consistent ways that we do our business on purpose and with intention will lead to systems that continue to perform for it. That was really powerful.
So the playbook that she's talking about, this is what it is, right? So it's literally like play number 8 is lead capture. It tells you exactly how that works, right? In command, right? And then it's like, because here's what a lot of us say, oh, command doesn't work or we don't know how to do it. So the playbook is essentially, this is exactly how you do it. Run with it, right? Because the 3 sources, essentially there's 2 numbers that they focused on. So 3, what is that? Whoever was there.
3 lead gen sources.
So 3 lead gen sources. And what was the second number?
201. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the lead gen sources. This is what is going to make you successful in the shift of the market or the new market, right? And this is how many people you need in your database.
That's 201 plus.
201 plus, right? And if you're actually touching that 201 contacts, the average agent is making $140,000 with 201 people in their database. This is not like just random numbers we're throwing out there, right? This is research that Gary's done and it's across the country. When people say, touches don't work, they work. And the average person with this that is actually doing touches is making $140,000 a year. Who wants to make at least $140,000 a year? Right? So this number, just like when we were talking about, it's proven. You just have to pick what you're going to do, right? Is it going to be open houses? And then you add this onto it. You got to pick your lead gen sources, right?
I really had one more thing.
Yeah.
He said the top 3 nationally were
Lead gen sources.
database, sphere of influence. Yeah, top 3 lead gen sources, online leads, and number 3 was open houses or events. Those were the top 3 among all the agents that they polled.
So it was sphere of
It was
influence.
sphere of influence database, so that 201 that you're consistently connecting with. And then number 2 was online leads, and that came through a variety of things. And number 3 was open houses or events. And this was by far and away the top 3 among the top performing agents across the country, which to me, I've always kind of poo-pooed online leads. I'm way more of a face-to-face, relationally driven person. But it told me if that's a place where people are finding business and looking for someone to help them with real estate, I need to take that more seriously.
Online leads is the relationship sometimes, so this is what I think that we think about, is we think of relationship face to face. How many of you know about everybody's life that you're friends with on Facebook because you creep on it every day? I do. I know when someone has a baby, and I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have watched on social media. We know these things. Online leads are not going away. In fact, they are getting stronger than ever because there's more than just Zillow now, right? So they're not going away. Whether or not you want to take advantage of them is up to you. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, right? Whether or not it's social media, Facebook ads, Rise, 72 Sold. People are capturing those really, really well. Bethany, you were going to say something.
I was gonna piggyback off of what Wendy said, that, so if everyone that was focused on, okay, I want to hit $150,000 in income next year, no one can start on our team if they don't have a database of over 200, period. They don't start. So Natalie hasn't started launch until next week because she just hit 203 yesterday. So you have to, like, my thing is, I hear a lot of people go, it's just so hard to build my database and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's hard if you make it hard. So if you get to the 200 as fast as possible, then chunk it, because I think what I see a lot of people do, and I do it too, is what's the quote we say all the time? We overcomplicate to justify our inaction. And so we overcomplicate things to use it as an excuse to not get into activity. So if you get to your database of 200 as fast as possible, and then you even just did 1 to 2 open houses a week. The crazy part about Jordan's conversion, and he's on the phone right now, he's not great on the phone. Like he
doesn't even necessarily enjoy doing open houses, but he's doing a great job at it.
Your conversion, so share, I have a really cool spreadsheet that has, like, let's say you wanted to make $200,000 and we worked it backwards and you knew you had to do 20 open houses this year, plus your database of 200. With your conversion ratios, which Jordan pulled 14 leads from 16 open. So he's a little lower than we'd like. You're supposed to be able to pull 1 lead per open. But that's where they're getting all these metrics, is your database should pump out just in of itself a 15% conversion ratio of closed from who you're talking to. So don't overcomplicate it. Start with your database, then do 1 open a weekend. And then when you're at the point where you've got those 2 things going, just promote the open you're doing on Facebook, and you'll drive internet leads from that. It doesn't even have to be your listing. Just promote someone else's listing on Facebook, obviously with their permission, and you'll drive internet leads that way.
Tam's another great one. I don't know if she's online or not. She has captured so many leads from Facebook. Like when we were at this training, she's like, I don't think people understand how many leads you can actually capture by doing a Facebook ad. Like they just, and yes, everyone's going to say, oh, but they're not great leads. Awesome. What other leads you got? Right? Like what other leads do you have? Because at some point they're probably going to have to move somewhere or rent or do something. I think that we need to get out of that mindset of like, what's a good or a bad lead? Just get more and add them to your database.
What makes them bad? Like, I'm curious, like what actually makes them a bad lead?
They're not breathing.
That was the other kind of aha piece, was that they said most people go with the first agent they connect with. And these leads are 9 to 14 months out. But if you're the first one, I'm still gonna need deals in 9 and 14 months. So that's fine. And if I'm the first one they connected with and have built a relationship with, when they're ready, I'm still gonna be the one that gets that biz.
You guys, there's so much opportunity out there. I think that when we think of the market and everyone's like, oh, it's shifting or this is happening, it's allowing for opportunity because people aren't wanting to put the work in. They're not wanting to do online leads. They're not wanting to do open houses. We haven't had to do them in a long time. I mean, when things were selling right away, it was like, oh, we're canceling the open house. And people were actually frustrated because they couldn't get leads from open houses. Trey,
So I want to answer that question of misconception of bad leads.
Oh.
One is they attempt to contact a lead, and if they don't get a response after one or twice, they think it's a bad lead. Survey says it takes 5 to 6 attempts before you get a response. So that's one. The second is everybody seems to look for now business. A lead is not necessarily now business. Now business is 2% of your database. So if you're looking for now business, then you're trying to reach a small amount that wants to buy right or sell right now. The lead is to be nurtured over time because it's a matter of when they are ready, when they put their hands up. So every lead is an opportunity. It's a matter of if we follow up and how we look at that lead and nurture that lead and take on that lead to make the contact.
I think that's a perfect failure moment, right? If you're only looking for now business, you have failed. You have failed getting your pipeline strong. So what are you going to do in this moment instead of then panicking about the now business? Fill the pipeline, right? That's what you're doing is now learn from that failure, right? And failure is not a bad word. So as you guys are like, Gina said I failed. No, you failed because you didn't lead generate 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago. And that's a reality for a lot of people because they were too busy or they were on, the high of all of the business that they had coming in. So now take those leads, whether it's now 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and just nurture the heck out of them and give them value so that they come back to you, right? Brian.
I think Trey's point is really good. I think of my database as long-term nurturing, and sometimes I get in the mindset of the online leads as now business and don't take the mindset of the same approach I would with my database where I'm really trying to nurture and build that relationship.
Yeah.
You just filter through them and work them out and then they're gone,
Well, and yesterday Brianna even said, she goes, after an open house, she's like, I contact them and keep contacting them and keep contacting them until they tell me not to contact them anymore.
Just
And
really
she's
hard.
like, it's very rare that someone's like, please don't contact me, right? Like, if she's giving some sort of value to them, she just keeps at it. And that's her job.
That happens.
Yeah.
I want to share just a slightly different perspective, just so it's kind of a full scale here. I was taught to do the complete opposite when I learned real estate in the beginning, and I'll explain why. So I was taught by my broker, the person who trained me in the beginning, that only when you're getting leads, get leads of people who are ready to buy and sell now. If they're not leads that are ready to buy and sell now, they don't count, and I'll explain. Do put them on a drip campaign and everything, but never make the mistake of thinking that you've got all these people in your database that you're going to do all of this business when you have none of them that you're doing business with right now. So there are more than enough people that are ready to buy and sell today. And those are the people that you don't stop prospecting until you find them.
I
So,
think you said the exact same thing in a different way.
okay.
I mean, yes, now business is a thing, but don't discount the non-now business as a bad lead. Is essentially, I think, what.
And you gotta keep going until you get the now, until you get the now business, and just be very careful of thinking that, oh, I've got all these people that I added to my drip campaign and now I've got 200, 300, 400. Well, how many do you have that are active right now? Because that should be your primary goal, is the business that you can get, that you can work on today.
Rick, what's right now business? I'm just playing devil's advocate. There's people in the room that I'm not sure know that.
Somebody who is qualified today, because some people we're gonna have work on their credit or whatever. Somebody who's qualified today to purchase and close in the next 60 days.
What if they're 3 or 6 months out?
Then you stay in touch with them, but they're for us, they're not considered a current active hot client, hot buyer, hot seller.
Ooh, what if the perfect house came on though tomorrow? Would they be active then?
What do you mean, would they move sooner? It depends on
I think sometimes
the
people
circumstance.
say, I'm not ready to cook for 3 months, right? And the right house comes on and they're like, I want to write an offer this weekend, usually when you go on vacation. And you're like, you said 3 months from now. But that's still now business, right?
That does happen sometimes, but you gotta, if you're counseling your clients and you know what their time frame is and you know why. I mean, a lot of people are like, I can't move until this date because of this reason. You know, my lease is up and if you've talked through, you know, buying before their lease is up and what that looks like and they still don't want to do it, then those people become somebody in the future and you focus on the business you have right now.
I call that like nice surprise business. Like if a B, like I go ABC, that's the way my lead sheet is set up. And A's are exactly what Rick is saying. That's like, okay, this is what I think I can count on. And then you got B's and C's that, yeah, you're in touch with the B's more often and the C's are maybe more just drip. And if a B jumps to an A or a C jumps to an A, it's a nice surprise. But there is definitely something too. Don't fool yourself with thinking you're busy.
No,
Just because
absolutely.
you have names and numbers.
Where do you get your A's from though? Is that like,
A's are exactly what Rick said. I qualify them, like if I showed them a house today, they would likely move in the next 60, I'd say 90 days, because just some of our stuff is more new construction, so it's even later. But I would say up to 90 days. If I showed them a house, I'm confident they would write an offer.
and those are usually open house leads, like they're out looking or they're,
Or your sphere leads, whoever you've talked to, like, that's how I would qualify that lead. But it's important to have all of them. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm there right now with where my stuff is. Like, the lead sheet looks great, but there's a lot of B's and C's that I have to find the perfect house for them to move, right? And so to me, they would move right now, but I gotta find a needle in a haystack for it to happen. So they're still just a B or a C. Like, they're
So-
not what's gonna keep me.
let me ask you, how many of you have 5 or more now buyer sellers right now?
Like active on.
Active, like if you're A buyers, how many of us have now buyers? At least 5 of them.
I'm not my little hand. Got a lot of bees. Got a lot of
Okay,
perfect house
so this
warmers.
is why I'm asking that, right? So those B clients are usually for a few different reasons, right? It's one, they need the perfect house or interest rates, or they're waiting for a lease. And these are all things that you can explain, educate a B client to sometimes be an A client, right? So this is where I think we're all kind of saying the same thing, right? But at the same time,
Except that we might advise Ryan differently, right? Someone might say, Ryan, this is great, work on your Bs, try to get them to As. And I would say to Ryan, you do not have enough As right now, go and get them. You need to be prospecting for the As right now because you don't have enough. He just told us he doesn't have 5 or more, he doesn't have enough.
so the 5 active, I'm being the devil's advocate to you because when you come off thinking I need now business at any point in time, you come off very, maybe not you, maybe I should speak for me, is like, I need business now. Are you buying? Are you selling? Right? Are your A's from you lead generating in the last week? Or have your A's come from you lead generating in November and December and October? This is where I think the message is getting lost, is your A business now isn't from your online lead that just called you today. Am I correct on that? Where did those A's come from?
It's like 50-50. It's either a sphere of influence and they're instantaneously and automatically an A,
Okay,
or
so-
it's somebody
so
that's
sphere of
been.
influence, right? So what were we just talking about? Database, sphere of influence, now you got A buyers that are probably over time, correct? So I think that's the point of this is your now business is 50-50 might come from someone that you lead generate today from an open house, whatever it is, but then they're coming from other sources of you nurturing them, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, Chris.
You said what I was gonna say. I said I was gonna say open houses. That's a big reason why I do them is to find someone who's willingly walking into the house that is for sale.
Yep.
And hopefully they don't have a real estate agent and then I can help them. That's it right now.
So the people that have now business, at least 5 or more, where did you get them? Where are the lead sources? Let's share it with everybody. So how did you get them? Spirit, okay,
Referral.
okay.
And Bethany, didn't you say a couple weeks ago that you got now business from calling your sphere when they didn't want to do it last year because of how the market was?
I just went through every appointment I went on last year.
Okay, so past appointments.
Yeah, and those are from all over, and then also my farm,
Okay,
and then seminars that we host.
any other ones for now business?
I guess a really great example for me is I just posted something randomly and
So
someone.
social
reached out.
media. Okay. Trey,
I know we have referral, but that's pretty general agent.
okay, like other agent, like an agent network. Okay, that's even different, right? Referral partner, could be anything, right? So that could be lenders, that could be, which that was talked about as well. In this market, you no longer, essentially are just like back and forth with a lender, right? What did they say? Can't remember. Partnership. Yes, yep. I blanked on this, but now that you brought it up.
They need to be an active partner in your business, providing value to your.
Yep, but they said it a different way, and I can't remember how they said it.
What it was under?
Our training.
In our training.
Yeah, but I mean sphere of influence? No,
No, it was lenders.
It was.
mortgage
it was
hacks?
Part of that mortgage conversation.
Yeah. Like a passenger versus like a. What is it?
There's something on 89.
Okay.
At 89.
Anyways, going back to this now business. What are you willing to do out of that list right now?
I know, you'd be good at.
Okay, what else? Okay,
Nobody.
social media. And you've actually been upping your social media lately of like actually posting buyer needs. And I mean, I've noticed, right? And so if I'm noticing that, I'm guessing that her sphere of influence is noticing that, right? Because you've been coming up probably once or twice a day in my feed.
You know what else she's doing, which I think is genius? Posting other people's buyers' needs. I could care less where the buyers are coming from. I'd rather they come from her than somewhere else,
Yeah.
right? So if you know what some of the office buyer needs are, go get buyers.
This comes back to like even agent relationships, right? You can post someone else's
Listing.
listing if you ask them. Just go up and say, hey, I don't have a listing right now, but I'd really like to generate yours to get sold and get leads for myself.
I'm doing 5 this week. of those.
Okay, awesome.
5 what?
I'm promoting 5 listings of other agents in this office.
Nice. And you are too,
And
Jess.
she is so.
We have 5 listings in the next 2 weeks.
To try to get out listings.
Okay, so there's a plan. You have a plan in place, right? So part of it is picking something and just putting a plan in place, right? So what's the goal? Do you want to do, how many open houses a month do you want to do?
2.
I'm picking on you.
Yeah, that's fine. 2.
So 2 open houses a month, right? So that would mean if you were doing conversion rates of 1 per open house, you're gonna get 2 new leads this month. And if that's gonna help you reach your goal, awesome, right? And then all of a sudden, if we look at that and we say, actually, I need 4 this month, that's 4 open houses. Who's willing to allow agents to do open houses at their listing? Okay, we've got people here, right? So that was the other thing, is connecting with those agents and asking them every single week, hey, I need help. I know you guys were just looking for people, granted, you know, they're like, it's like, they're always looking for people to hold open houses. And make it worth it, right? Make the open house worth it. If you didn't watch the training yesterday, everyone that's successful at it has a specific way to do their open. They go to that open and it starts with mindset. I asked the question, I said, how do you get the right mindset for your open? Every single one of them had a different thing. One was like almost like a meditation and deep breathing beforehand, like affirmations of why they're there in that open house and what their purpose is, right? I can share with you, when I first got into the business, I was like, Candy will laugh, a hot mess trying to put out the signs, got to the open, turn the lights on, and was like, oh gosh, good thing this is done. Got the feedback, right? When I first was in it, I didn't get anything from those open houses. Why? Because I was just filling a void with my body being in this house, thinking that that was the only reason I was there, right? Brianna, she said that she goes there, she texts, group texts, or mass text messages, everyone in her phone about the open houses that she's having, along with circle prospecting. Who does that? That's genius. If I got a text message that said my neighbor's house is having an open house and I had nothing going on, I'd probably show up. I've never gotten a text message like that. Has anyone else ever gotten a text message that there's an open house from an agent? Do you think that people think that that's something unique, that if they're selling their house, they're like, hey, this agent's texting people to come to their open? Right? I've never heard that before. And she gets a lot of replies from it. And then she puts them in her database and starts a drip campaign on them. And she listens to Taylor Swift to get in the right mindset. I'm not saying Rick should listen to Taylor Swift, but you know. All right, so these are now business. When we're talking about database, there is a very small percentage, and some people don't have their database in command, right? But I can see, Heather can see, we can see who has 201 people in their database. And there is a very small percentage of our agents that actually have 201, right? Part of that is not because I don't think you know 201 people or have come into contact with them. I think it's we just haven't inputted them into a organized system yet, right? Part of Gary's kind of push for the next, I think it's 2025, is to have what, 100,000 of our agents doing 18+ transactions. That's 50% of our agents. So when we're putting this into numbers, 50% of our agents in this market center will be doing 18+ units. You guys, we've never even had a month where we've had 50% of our agents in production. And do you want to know what he's betting it on? It's this. This and online leads. And Gary's never been an online leads guy, ever. But things are changing, right? And if we don't change with it, we're just going to be behind it. Would you guys agree with that? Do you feel things changing in the market? Do you feel the way that you're getting business is changing? I mean, some of my referral agents, have some of your referrals or your past clients went with other agents recently? So I've been hearing a lot of, I hadn't kept in contact the way that I should have. And then I find out that they sold 2 years ago or a year ago. And let's be really vulnerable here. I know nobody ever gets rejected except for me daily, but like, let's be honest with that, right? Like it happens, and it happens because of this. They're seeing other people doing things that we are not doing as an agent. And that's just a reality. And it's not hard. We just got to do it. Rick.
I have 2 right now, and they're younger, first-time home buyers. And it's frustrating because they're my clients' kids, and they were working with other realtors. I think that's something that we're going to see, because last year was an absolute shit show. I mean, it was crazy trying to buy houses and be a good realtor, right? I mean, we knew that it was so competitive that lots of people didn't get houses. So they went through that whole trauma of this didn't work last year, and the interest rates went up, and it was a huge mess. Now those people are coming back into the market after having experience with other realtors. Obviously, I should have gotten the first.
They found them online. You just said younger realtors, and that's where they're finding.
Friends, they're friends. I mean, they're in their mid-20s, so it's like they're friends who are realtors. And yeah, being in your mid-20s as a realtor is great if you're here, but not all of them are great as, you know, new realtors. So, and that's what we're finding. So again, it's this whole provide better service, right? To provide a better experience for them. And I think you're going to see a lot of buyers from last year who are looking for better realtors right now. So be ready to be that realtor for them.
Actually just had like a complete opposite experience. One of my friends is working with an older realtor, and they're like, well, he's like 70+ years old, and he's starting to become less and less hands off on almost every offer we put in, and like we're starting to get annoyed. So,
but you also said kind of the same thing, because that agent did not do their job for that client. So they're looking for someone better. Younger, older, doesn't matter. Better.
Well, I think
somebody will get the job done.
The point of this market is going to be a skills-based market.
Yeah.
You could be breathing and have a real estate license in the last few years and drum up some business, like quite honestly, right? Like there was people everywhere. But if you don't have the ability to have the like focus on the skills, write scripts, know what negotiations, know what mortgage hacks there are out there and different information, they're going to go with someone that is more educated. And I think that's where it's really important for us to educate online, right? Show your value online, have people reach out, or you need to up your appointments. Okay, if it's gonna be face-to-face because you don't want to do the other stuff, then we need to up our appointments to get in front of more people. So it's kind of one or the other, right? More face-to-face meetings or seminars or whichever way you want to do it, but you need to get in front of more people in this market. Would you guys agree with that? And I posted yesterday, to anyone that has kids out there, I was thinking about this. In so many of my recruiting appointments, they're like, I just don't like rejection. I can't, it's like, no, everywhere. It's this, that, and the other thing. By 8 o'clock, I was rejected about 15 times from my kids. Okay, go put your shoes on. No. Can you go put that away? No. How many times do you actually hear no in a day? I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm a horrible mom. I just can't do this anymore. Like, no, that wasn't it. I just kept taking it, right? And I showed up as a mom still. Why do we allow the no's in real estate to affect us? And is it an ego thing? Is it like an emotional thing? This is a question. I'm curious. Like, I used to do that too, but we get so affected by the no.
If you're, maybe sometimes people don't understand that they just need to get the no's faster to get a yes.
Okay,
If you're not
absolutely.
if you're not hearing no, because you're not asking the question. If you don't have problems, it's because you don't have activity.
True. Why else are we afraid of the no?
It's tough on your ego.
I think you're making the mistake of thinking that somebody else in the world is the person who controls whether or not you're good or not good. And that is just not true. You start good, you go into the world good, it just doesn't change. You can't let other people change you.
This goes back to mindset, right? It all goes back to what you feel at that point in time. And the reason it usually affects you is because you're not confident in something that you're doing, right? Are you coming from a good place? And this is where the now business, sometimes it gets really crummy when you get no's and you need like a transaction because otherwise you can't pay your rent, right? And you're like, I got 5 no's, I can't do this. And you tell yourself the story in your head. But when you don't focus on that and you're like, I'm going to be the best agent for this person, I guarantee all of you would be over anyone else in this market center, right? Or in this market, like anyone, Coldwell, Edina. Don't let the no's stop you from going forward. You get no's other places, right? Parents, do you get no's like 85 times a day like I do? Or your kids just like really awesome? 'Cause I got awesome kids, but they still say no, right? Right.
I'm just saying you're able to-
What rejection?
Now, not a rejection, it's just they're not ready.
And that's usually it.
What do you do to make that no a yes?
And I would also say, it's funny when I think of, I don't want to bother my friends and family, or I don't know if they want to work with me. Is that not also an opportunity to say, hey, I'm curious what I can do better that you would want to work with me? Right? Because if someone's like, oh, it's a personal relationship, I'm going to call bullshit on that. There's something that they don't believe in is why they didn't work with you. And that's your opportunity to say, why? And be open to the feedback, because that's only going to get you better, because I'm guessing someone else probably feels that same thing, right? For whatever reason it is. But if we're not vulnerable in this to be able to actually have personal growth, you're not going to have professional growth either, you guys. It's not going to happen. Or it's going to happen a weird ebb and flow. Any thoughts on that? All right, if you have nothing else, let's go into wants and needs. What do you guys got?
Just want to offer something, for with the open house thing. I really wanted to go to that yesterday. I didn't, but I just wanted to make sure that this gets presented as an idea. If you're gonna do an open house, one of the biggest issues with going to open houses is whether there's a host there, they don't know anything, which is typically an agent who's hosting for somebody else, right? And it took us years to figure out that this is the most simple concept ever, right? But do a tour of the house with either the listing agent or the owners before you do that open house and let them walk you through. You very, very quickly become the expert on that house. You know, a great example, Lowell sold his house. There was another agent in our office who was out of town, who was a great realtor that sold his house. But he, you know, they needed help doing an open. So Sherry and I hosted the open. We didn't know much about the house. So he himself and his wife walked us through the house before. Then we became experts, right? We ended up with 2 buyers out of that one as a result of having some sort of experience. And he sold the house in multiples, not because of us, you know, but because it was a great house and everybody who walked in there knew everything about it, whether it was Colleen or it was us. So agents who are doing, if you're going to do a list, an open house for us, ask if either I can bring you through or if our sellers will bring you through the house, because that changes the game entirely when somebody comes to the door. And now it doesn't matter whether you're a listing agent or not, because you know the property, right? Very simple.
To add to that, you should also know the neighborhood and the surrounding properties and what else is on the market. Because if that house isn't the right fit, you can offer to show them one of the other houses down the street.
And leave an hour open, after, right? So that you can actually do it then.
Right.
Yeah, there's another house in the neighborhood, and while you're at that open, schedule that showing, you know.
These are all part of the job as a real estate agent that nobody tells you in school or actually gives you guidance on, right? We think that we just are there, and I think a lot of agents are, hey, I'm here to negotiate and open the door. They're looking for you to be the complete expert in the market and on that house, right? And granted, you might have this amount of time to figure out everything you need to know on that house, but if you don't, go find it and make sure you're following up immediately with what they asked. What kind of floors are those? You know what? I don't know that, but I'll check. And within a 24-hour period of time, you better find out what those floors are and send that to the next person. I mean, that's what we're here for. Otherwise, you know, the scare a few years ago where it's like, oh, open door and there aren't going to be agents. That lasted for this amount of time because no one wanted to find all of the things that an agent actually provides. No one really wants to do that. It's a lot. Your job is a lot. When you really put it into like paper and words, people think that you know, are here for this amount of time. There's a lot that goes into being a really great real estate agent. There's just not a lot of really great real estate agents out there.
That one, you know, who in the open house training yesterday or class yesterday, she had said, you know, she brings some stuff along to wipe off the counters to make sure in case the sellers leave, you know, something out, or she makes sure that house is in great condition before anyone comes, opens the blinds, opens the
Every
shades.
open house panel we've had, they have made it their party. And by party, it's their own personality. Some have brought balloons. Some it's about the ambiance, like all of them is about the ambiance, but it's their ambiance. It's whatever playlist they have because they bring their own music in. It's not, I mean, they make it their party. So you are essentially hosting a party you're inviting people to every single week. The venue just changes. So put your list together. What does your party look like every week? And you can do it whatever way you want with your own flavor to it, right? But make it you. Okay, any wants and needs that we can go through? Yeah, Scott.
Your home in the sub-7, so mid to upper 6s in Minnetonka schools or a neighborhood that is serviced by like a Minnetonka school bus, then that's what belongs. The needs, I need tenants for a $3,400 rental in Montana schools and a $1,500 rental in a single, that the first one was a single family Wayzata schools. Second one's a rental that I've got a $1,500 in Edina, single bedroom. It's like a condo, looking for tenants for that property.
Awesome. Trey.
I look at like that's talking up to 2 million, 4+ bedrooms. And then I have a buyer looking up to 1.8 on Bar Lake.
Will they remodel? Will they put money into a house that's $1.2 million in Minnetonka? Yeah, okay. Ringer.
Anything else? Buyer need,
Work does it?
open house need, open house
I'm
want,
looking for a buyer on Prior Lake for over 2.2 million.
okay?
Did he say over?
And then a
two?
seller.
Over two?
Yeah, you know the seller.
I know the seller. I need a buyer.
Okay, okay. What is the house?
Oh, really?
It's
You have a
a
house in front of it?
4,000 square foot home right on Prior Lake.
Where?
It has an infinity pool. It's by the Wagon Bridge.
Okay.
The Naughty Or. Yeah.
2.2? Yes.
Is this purchase, is the purchase price?
Okay, anything else? Yeah,
I have someone looking for a rental in the Chanhassen School District, Carver School District 112. 3 to 4 bedroom, up to 2,400 for rent if anybody has a rental property.
okay.
I have a buyer looking up to 550 in the suburbs, preferably like Farmington School District, Lakeville School District, maybe Prior Lake, up to 550, single family, 4 bedrooms preferred.
Yeah, we have more buyer needs right now than we have in a long time. Like, this is a positive, I mean, it's positive. They're coming back, right? So.
How about Egan?
How about- so we need to negotiate Egan.
I have a buyer who's up to 350 in Egan, possibly. It depends on the drive to the Minneapolis airport. 3+ bed, 2+ bath.
Okay. Okay.
I have a couple of buyers. This is Colleen weighing in from far away.
Hello, Colleen.
Hello. I have a buyer who is looking for like 10 acres would be tight, 20 acres would be better. We looked at a property that was 13 acres, had too much of it was wooded. So I'm looking for that kind of in the Stillwater, Wisconsin area. So eastern, that part close to Wisconsin, but not too far into Wisconsin. So we're looking for 13 acres up to 1.2 million. I have another buyer who is looking for a fixer-upper on Lake Minnetonka. So if you have something where things are falling apart, literally, they're willing to step in and make it gorgeous. So if any of you know anybody with Lakeshore that that needs to be fixed up, I would love to talk to you. And then I have a really interesting buyer who's looking for a property for a group home, and that would be in the kind of the St. Paul, Oakdale kind of area, Maplewood, and they're looking for a property with 6 or more bedrooms.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Scott.
Another buyer that we need single level living of like a townhome, detached townhome, up to 1-1 in the Eden Prairie area. And be close to their kids who are on those.
Okay.
I wonder if homeowners have anything open.
Anybody else?
Do they have anything in Eden Prairie?
Let's have those one level living.
Yeah, they don't like this, they don't care for that.
They don't like those. We'll just edit that one.
Remember to send any to Lydia email. Once it's email Lydia, she'll get that all out by the end of the day. So if there's anything else, she'll send out that email.
Awesome. Anything else, guys? Do you have any questions? All right. Have a good day.
Thank you for a great meeting.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Blake and I went and walked around someday. And
Enjoy.
From